say, do it yourself. Too many instructions, do it yourself.
Okay, so we're back again. We've obviously got both cars here. So this is the first meeting I'll race this year. Been a bit slow on racing myself so far, but we've finally got here. So and got both cars. So the intention was to race on the 26th or Boxing Day, but that got rained out, and then we potentially penciled in to run the 29th here, I think it was, and ended up going south with the sprint car boys. So missed that meeting, but unfortunately they only got one heat in anyway, so didn't really miss a lot on that side. So yeah, I guess we didn't have to wash a car for nothing, but kind of cheekily it would have allowed us to get the car signed off to be ready for championships, or like championship eligible. But anyway, yeah, probably wouldn't have been enough running to justify being ready. So that being that, yeah, we've got the let's say the 3NZ TQ over there, and then the 39 Midget just behind me. So in the colour schemes of that Regan ran at the end of last year at Ruapuna, so kind of carrying a bunch of his sponsors, which is a cool little thing that they supported him through that, and had a good little run. So hopefully there's enough luck left in that we can kind of get a good run out of it tonight too. So also got Crusher, one of our main guys, who's helped on me from a championship years with the Midget way back when, so cool to have him back. Obviously he's part of the sprint car team as well, so it's a bit of fun being back around racing with him again. So enjoy that, and got Ames here, Dad, and Mitch to turn up too. So yeah, got a pretty skint crew, so pretty much two people between each cars, so or for each car. So yeah, should be a bit of fun, and it's gonna be good to get back on track.
rounding out that, driving a midget and a TQ tonight, the current TQ number 3 and ex-midget champion as well. How are we doing, Mr. Honeybell? How are you sorting this two together?
Yeah, we're doing not too bad. Like I say, this is a first meeting for the year for me, so we're finding it not too bad, finding my feet again. You know, we had a third in the midget heat that we just were out in and won the TQ heat, so I think we've got our season away to a ripper start. So, yeah, like I say, a little bit of an extended break, longer than usual, but yeah, we're here and back like usual, so yeah, happy with that.
Okay, the question is, are you going to be competing for the Nationals for midgets and TQs this year?
Oh, that's a big question at the moment. Definitely TQ at the moment, but we're just kind of weighing up our options with the midget stuff. I've kind of committed to help with a sprint car team, so doing that here and there and kind of being able to fit a little bit of midget racing in when I can. But like I say, I'm unsure with the midget yet, but we're definitely here for the TQ Nationals in about 3 weeks' time.
So let's look ahead to the future. You mentioned a sprint car there. Does this mean at some stage Peter Honeybell could be a TQ champ, midget champ, and possibly even a sprint car champ?
Yeah, I've got Graham across from me shaking his head as hard as he can about the TQ, I know that's for sure. But yeah, like I say, I never say never. And I guess if anyone's got a sprint car out there that they need an operator, let me know. Like I say, numbers down below.
There you go, Honeybell. He's running double duty tonight in the midgets and the TQs. Number 3, looking to pick up on number 4 in just a couple of weeks. Back to you guys. Time for the quarter midgets.
Okay, so we've had a pretty eventful night so far. We'll start off with our first heat in both cars. So was out first in the midget, and yeah, turns out midget racing is still a bit of a crash fest, but we survived and finished third for that one, so I was pretty happy with that. You know, find my feet again and just kind of new track, still figuring out a gear and whatnot, so I think we were pretty close, which is good. You know, this is all off kind of just guessing, you know, so you kind of got lucky and had it pretty good. So then TQ heat, obviously started off the front, off 2. Felt like we kind of cruised off into the distance, just kind of set a pace I was comfortable running at, and just ran with that. So yeah, happy with that one. And I say, felt like I had a really good feeling in the car, so I didn't need to yeah, really chase the car around the track or anything. It was stuck. I could kind of jump it through the holes if I wanted to, or burn it through the slick if I needed to. So yeah, kind of well balanced car, which makes my job pretty easy. next heat race we're out in the TQ, and off that one we're off 15 off the back, so yeah, it was going to be a bit of a tall effort. The track's cutting up pretty hard, so I kind of just took a lap or two to kind of just let everything spread out just a little bit and not get too kind of in the action as much, and then yeah, started picking off cars, kind of found a high line right around the fence in 1 and 2, kind of a middle in 3 and 4, which I could kind of just dawdle through and still make pace, not pass cars but just kind of make pace, so would then set me up for a pass for 1 and 2, so ended up finishing 5th I think, so like a 15 to 5 run was I think the biggest move of the night in the heat race, and then add that with a win, I'm guessing we should top qualify, so yeah, TQs are looking pretty, or the TQ side of it's looking pretty good and pretty strong. Maybe got one just little change I might make for the feature just to kind of, yeah, a bit more like driver comfort and drivability. And then heat 2 for the midget, we in the first one actually ripped the belly pan off, so the oil lines also kind of sit on the belly pan, so they kind of got folded back a bit, so as a precautionary, Crusher shot back to father-in-law's place and picked up another set new that he had sitting there, so silly me, should have had my spares in the trailer, but yeah, they're a little bit closer than where mine are by probably 15-20 minutes at least. So he managed to get them back to the track, and we were literally throwing the car on the ground and got it out for the next heat, so pretty stoked with that. And then ended up running 5th from I think 7. We're up to 3rd I think at one point, or 4th, but kind of just made some silly decisions and mistakes, and yeah, we had a bit of a fueling kind of issue and like a miss. It turns out there was a loose fitting which was obviously causing it to stumble, so yeah, not knowing that, and like the car would kind of just bobble a little bit, which didn't really give me the confidence to pound the top like I had done in 1 and 2 a couple of times. So I didn't want to get halfway through the corner and have it kind of load up and basically just turn me into the fence, unfortunately, like what happened to old Ryan Baker. So yeah, a bit unfortunate for him in that instance, but yeah, like I said, it was kind of a bit of a race of conservation. I knew just if I could finish I'd be happy, and hey, 5th from 7 we still went forward 2 spots, so just making inroads. Yeah, boys are just going over the midget now a bit more and just getting everything a bit more buttoned up, being that we're so rushed to get the car together. And yeah, like I say, TQ's not far off being ready to go for our feature, so yeah, kind of make last little 1 or 2 changes and we'll get rolling. yeah, just hop out of the TQ. We had a pretty good run of that. Led most of the way. Really tricky track to lead on. Kind of one of those scenarios where I knew the top was potentially faster, or kind of an alternate live, whether that was like railing the top on entry and then like a big cut across the rough through the middle and dropping down off exit. But you know, I kind of stuck with my gut and kind of ran like a little bit of an open entry and then kind of like diamonded it down slightly, not as aggressively as probably what I should have been doing, but you never know when you're leading the race, so you're kind of waiting for noses to show. Like I know Humble showed his nose once or twice on entry into 1, I think it was, which that kind of confirmed what I was doing was probably, like, I might have been making straightaway speed, but I was giving that away by kind of balking up my entry just a little bit to make sure I got the straightaway speed. So yeah, never felt very threatened, but he definitely made his presence there, and you know, raced me clean, so can't complain about that. But yeah, so kind of then led for, yeah, I must have been over halfway, if not maybe 10 laps in, and then kind of got snowplowed out the way going into 3. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I think I dropped back to 4th, but with the relegations, whatever, got put back to 3rd. So kind of a good night racing, and all, like, take away getting snowplowed out of the way for the win. But yeah, more or less, you know, it's at the end of the day, we all got the pace, qualified on the front row, equal on top points, basically came down to lap time. So pace in the TQs there, which I knew it would be. Yeah, say what you want, but HRD package on a TQ is the best right now, and Regan proved that by going out and winning anyway. So Jeremy running a similar package in 2nd. So we'll probably load the car up and save it for nationals. Don't need to tear gear up like people are trying to. So yeah, we'll come out at nationals and pretty satisfied where we are. We've done our basic checks we need to, which is make sure the motor runs good after kind of being pulled apart and rebuilt with the SNC checking stuff, and kind of feel like our gear's pretty dialed in. So we're sorted on the TQ front, and yeah, big shout out to Mitch for helping out with that, and Ames. They're on Team TQ tonight, so it's good of them to get through that. But yeah, appreciate their help, and out in the Midget now. just hopped out of the midget, so felt like we had some good pace, about 5 laps or so in. Yeah, kind of got Jaden by, I think. Kind of just bobbled up, and Jaden got through, so yeah, started digging in and found my line and whatnot, and then got into a good race with Alec, and yeah, he ran me pretty hard and pretty clean, so appreciate that from him. He also does a bit of a YouTube thing too, so I'm sure I'll probably try tag either his channel into mine, and you'll probably be able to see the flip side of the battle, maybe either the in-car of his car versus mine and whatever, so be some cool footage between the two. Yeah, so there's a good bit of fun with Alec. Then yeah, as we kind of got into the race, just the car started to like fade and it just went dead duck, you know, like kind of within 3 or 4 laps it felt like I couldn't race with Alec, and he just walked away. And then turns out the old infamous pole line got us, so shout out to council curbs on the inside of racetracks. That's a lovely $300 tyre that's going in the bin, but it's all good. We'll soldier on that. But yeah, like I say, besides kind of having the pace fall out of the car just with that flat left front, which kind of answered what kind of happened in there, yeah, felt all good all in all. So yeah, just all around a good night. Overcame some adversity of ripping off the floor plan halfway through the night and just making the second heave. Yeah, kind of proved that we can still do it. So kind of, yeah, I think what people forget sometimes is, you know, the depth of the notebook on this car that we've been running is, you know, it's 10-15 years of running that car and that style car as well. So like, you can nearly throw any track conditions out of a blender and we'll figure it out. So yeah, admittedly rough is not my favourite track either, so there's kind of some good lines you can kind of run around the holes, but I started basically running through a few holes basically just to get the grip. It was the only way to kind of make enough pace to stay relevant. So yeah, anyway, I probably should add too, about halfway through, Cannon showed his nose, and I basically tried to get out of his way and just try to lock down to the bottom and do the good lap car thing too of yeah, obviously that our pace was kind of faded by then, and just stay out of the way of the leaders to kind of let them just drive around me, and yeah, let's say just lock to the bottom as good as I could within reason, and just let them race their race. So happy, yeah, all in all, yeah, pretty happy. Both cars in and straight, so we'll load them up and we go again tomorrow. So unsure whether we'll get the TQ out again tomorrow. I think there's case in point that we don't need to. Felt like we had enough pace in the car, so shouldn't need to. Then the midget, well, we'll see. Watch this space. I mean, this is all going to mean nothing because it's all going to happen by the time this video comes out. But yeah, like I say, got a bit of a plan in my head, and we'll maintenance when we get home and go again for tomorrow. See you guys in the next one.